everyone. Welcome to the Healing Train. I am your conductor, B.Von Squires, and today we are sponsored by Spirit Source Connection. At Spirit Source Connection, we believe that we are energetic beings and that we have supernatural power that we enact through our creativity, our imagination, our visualization, and our intuition. We believe that we have to address all these components of ourselves so that we can walk authentically into our destiny. Okay, and so today we're here because it's the healing train. And on the healing train, this is where ordinary people come to talk about their extraordinary experiences that have led from trauma to triumph, from struggle to success. And what we do know about the trauma journey is that nobody's journey is going to be the same, but we do know there will be ups and downs, twists and turns along the way. And so today we are going to be talking about the energy harvest. Yes, I wrote a book. It's called The Energy Harvest. It is a four-phase trauma healing process that begins with identifying the trauma or the feelings that you sustained from the trauma, then taking a look at the mindset and the ability to forgive so that you can move on into your healing. Then we go on and talk about those wonderful things that you're able to achieve once you acquire your trauma healing, and then going into sustaining all of that great work that you have done, all of the positive energy that you have been able to accumulate over your journey. How do we sustain that? And so today's passenger that I have for you is Dotctah Copeland. He is an energy practitioner, energy healing practitioner. He's going to explain all of that to you. It is a wonderful thing to be able to speak to someone who understands the energetic nature of who we are and how to heal that energy. You are going to be blown away by his authenticity, by his ability to be vulnerable and talk about his trauma that led to his triumph and the struggles that led to his success. And so with no further ado, I would like you to help me welcome Dr. Copeland to the healing train. Dr. Copeland, will you please come on and say hello to the community?
Greetings, everyone. How you doing? Thank you so much, Mrs. B.Von, for having me on your show, on this train ride. And hopefully we'll have some people join in and ride with us on this journey. I guess when we talk about trauma, for me, I got to look at it, like you said, everybody, they look at it in different ways. I guess I would have to start with the what do they call it? The post-traumatic slave syndrome. Are you familiar with that?
No, I'm not. No, but I'd love to hear about it.
Well, for me, part of that is not knowing when we say we go on that journey of knowing who we are when we go through certain things. I guess for me, let me go back a little bit. I'm considered like the third generation. I'm not a medical doctor or anything, but I deal with holisticness, dealing with nature, dealing with energy, dealing with our biofields, and how that, in a sense, started off for me. Ever since I was like 4 years old, every summer, I used to go to the country with my grandfather, and used to head to work tobacco fields. And so from the age of 4 all the way up to 12, I, planted what they call foraging now, picking, dealing with nature, understanding and learning things from my elders. So I had the experience of different sides of, I guess we say, education, different sides and experiences of upbringing. And so with that said, some might call that traumatic, okay? Even like I said, me working in tobacco fields in 80, 90-degree weather at 4 or 5 years old,
Wow.
Crying, stuff like that, but you had to keep it moving. You had to roll, you had to finish, you had to have my other cousins out there. It was just me growing up believing, didn't work, you didn't eat. And
Sure.
it was a beautiful concept. But we got to understand in today's society, what some of them things that we was told taught culturally, that's where the post-traumatic slave syndrome kind of come in as well. That we was taught in today's society may be considered abuse, child labor. Be so many things of today's time, you see. And so if I go past that to where I ended up, growing older, I went through a couple phases. I went through drug addiction, alcoholism. That was in my teen years. I was considered a teenage alcoholic. So those moments of time would be considered also traumatic for some. It depends on, to me, I feel that how you was brought up, how you was taught to look at life, your moralities, your moral factors, and stuff of that nature. That will carry you, I feel personally, through life. We would say 10 years later go, and then I'm in my 30s, I find out when my grandmother dies that I helped took care of. I did caretaking for over 25 years. I just recently, within the last 3 years, actually, yeah, about 3 or 4 years now, haven't had them full responsibilities. I'm still the power of attorney of one relative that's still living, and I got one more other relative that's living. Out of my grandfather, who had on the Copeland side, who only had um, he had two sets of Copelands. He had the first, what we call the first set, and I'm part of what's called the second set. Okay, and I'm the last Copeland boy. So that could be traumatizing to some. You know, having that responsibility of eldership. I come to learn personally that these experiences is not just trauma, it's lessons. It's also saying that, hey, you are the elder, you're the next in line to be to make sure the family is correct. We're pretty much one of the last Copelands on my father's side, or what I call the second set of Copelands. I have a son, but he's not with me. Ended up going to Africa at that time. Went to Ghana. It was a beautiful experience. My brother invited me to come and do some feminine stuff. Let's start at the beginning of the year, in January. Around February, I ended up getting real sick. Something just hit me. I guess it might have been that bug.
Okay.
I didn't go get my nose and everything scraped or anything, right? So, you know, I just knew that, things were pretty bad, luckily at the time I was also engaged. Um, and so luckily for her, she in many ways saved my life. Um, she helped nurse me and make sure that, you know, we did different holistic methods um, to make sure that I came back into a balance.
Sure.
It took about 30 days. It was so bad I couldn't walk for about 2 or 3 weeks.
Wow.
But did some juicing, did a lot of different things, meditations, and a lot of things. Okay. But it got better, got stronger. Like I said, then maybe by April, maybe in May, yeah, by April, May, sitting there talking to a queen I had at the time, talking about going to Africa, and she was like, and I was like, only way I'm gonna go with somebody, invite me. About a week later after that, I get a call, say, hey B, yeah, you like to go to Africa? I said, yeah. I said, when? He said, tomorrow. I said, tomorrow. All right. So go to Africa, make a long story short, at that time too, me and my father, we had just started collaborating. He had got a bigger office. Um, and so he do bioenergetic medicine. I kind of got him on that years ago. Uh, he thought it was some type of witchcraft and everything. But I was like, everything around us is energy, and we now got electrical magnetic frequencies all around us. But we'll get on that later. But me and father was doing things together, but he kind of got upset with me because we had an appointment, and I had a choice between his appointment and going to Africa, all the expense paid trip. So for me personally, I had to take the Africa trip. But when I came back for about a month or two, make a long story short, he was a little salty, but we was working together, and I told him by the time I turned the age that I had set a goal for, I said I'm going to turn, I'm going to go ahead and focus on being a doctor of holistic medicine. And so we say my birthday, we're going to speed up. This is all about August of 2021. I goes to Vegas. Then it was for my 50th birthday. And so then while I was gone, my uncle got sick. He's because at the time we call ourselves the Four Horsemen. It was me, my uncle, uh, my other guy hit though. Ended up going to Africa at that time. Went to Ghana. It was a beautiful experience. My brother invited me to come and do some feminine stuff. Let's start at the beginning of the year, January. Around February, I ended up getting real sick. Something just hit me. I guess it might have been that bug.
Okay.
I didn't go get my nose and everything scraped or anything, right? So, you know, I just knew that, things were pretty bad, luckily at the time I was also engaged. Um, and so luckily for her, she in many ways saved my life. Uh, she helped nurse me and make sure that, you know, we did different holistic methods um, to make sure that I came back into a balance.
Sure.
It took about 30 days. It was so bad I couldn't walk for about 2 or 3 weeks.
Wow.
But did some juicing, did a lot of different things, meditations, and a lot of things. Okay. But it got better, got stronger. Like I said, then maybe by April, maybe in May, yeah, about April, May, sitting there talking to a queen I had at the time, talking about going to Africa, and she was like, and I was like, only way I'm going with somebody, invite me. About a week later after that, I get a call, say, hey, B, yeah, you like to go to Africa? I said, yeah. I said, when? He said, tomorrow. I said, tomorrow. All right. So go to Africa, make a long story short, at that time too, me and my father, we had just started collaborating. He had got a bigger office. Um, and so he do bioenergetic medicine. I kind of got him on that years ago. Uh, he thought it was some type of witchcraft and everything. But I was like, everything around us is energy,
Mhm.
and we got electrical magnetic frequencies all around us. We'll get on that later. But me and father was doing things together, but he kind of got upset with me because we had an appointment, and I had a choice between his appointment and going to Africa, all the expense paid trip. So for me personally, I had to take the Africa trip. But when I came back for about a month or two, to make a long story short, he was a little salty, but we was working together, starting to, and I told him by the time I turned the age that I had set a goal for, I said I'm going to turn, I'm going to go ahead and focus on being a doctor of holistic medicine. And so we say my birthday, we'll speed up. This is all about August of 2021. I goes to Vegas. Um, then it was for my 50th birthday. And so then while I was gone, my uncle got sick. He's because at the time we call ourselves the Four Horsemen. It was me, my uncle, uh, my other guy hit though. It's called Uncle Roy. He was the minister of the family. He was born, they say, ever since he was little, we always walked around with a Bible. So he was born for it. So he was the minister of the family. Then we had my father. He did, like I was saying, naturopathic. He had been doing that for over 50 years. And then we had my Uncle Mo. So we call ourselves the Four Horsemen, so to speak, of the family. I kind of grew up with them. I didn't grow up with my mother or father. Really, I grew up with like I said, my aunties in the house with my uncles and stuff. So to me, a part of them is like my brothers too.
Sure.
So in the way my grandmother adopted me, that's another story within itself. But while I was gone, like I said, my uncle got sick first, and then my dad ended up getting sick. And by the time I came back, um, he wouldn't really let nobody in the house and stuff like that. He thought he had the Rona, right? But he ain't got checked. He ain't got his nose scraped or anything of that nature. And I'm like, what are you doing to work on yourself? At the time, like I said, I had just came back from Vegas. So my mind had to catch up on some work, this, that, the third, and running around. So I'm all right, but by the third day, couldn't really, his breathing was like crazy. said, yo, you all right? One of the days he asked me to come out and do something. I'll be all right, I'll be all right. I said, sure, man. So I'm so, I guess, used all my life seeing my dad had a certain strength. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
like I said, I wasn't really focused at the time. You know what I mean? I was, my mind, like I said, it's come 1 minute about a week or two, thinking about her, all these other things outside of my normal self, which other family members I have seen had take care of, like I said, take care of my grandmother before she passed. I helped take care of her, and then other people as well. But I went ahead and went out of town, went to see girl. While I was out of town, my father called me up. You better be up. If you come back, I need for you to come and take. I want to go to the hospital. So you want to go to the hospital? It's gonna get serious. So I'm about 2 hours away. So I jump in my car and come back and see what's going on with him. He wanted me to do some errands for him. Did some errands after that. I was like, yo, man, I said, let's go to the hospital, Like, I might wait till tomorrow. Man, I don't know. Breathing is very important. But once again, I wasn't fully focused. And then when he finally met me in the house too that night. And so I noticed he hadn't ate nothing. I'm like, yo, I said, what have you been eating? And what he had been doing, he had some this green veggie powder drink. And he's been doing that and some peppermint and stuff of that nature, trying to open up his lungs, trying to breathe
Okay.
better, stuff of that nature, huh?
Mhm.
And stuff of that nature, right? And so I'm like, man, you got to put something more on your stomach, on your body than that. You need some type of nutrients. So looked like he probably ate in 3 or 4 days. And he was taking this stuff that he had gotten not from the people he knew. He knew doctors, like not other naturopathic doctors. He took advice from somebody that he knew and told him that I forgot the name of this stuff. It's not ivermectin, but it had some of ivermectin. They was talking about that maybe during that time about ivermectin. I don't know if you heard about that. Okay, ivermectin is supposed to be something to help cure the C bug, okay, the C19, right? And
Okay.
so there was a lot of people at that time taking this stuff.
Mhm.
However, this wasn't truly ivermectin. It was zironectin or something, which was actually made for horses.
Oh, yes, I heard about that. I did hear about that.
You know about that?
Yeah, I
Okay.
did.
He ended up taking that stuff. Now, like I said, I hadn't really been in this house. I had, until 3 or 4 days I had been back until that point. Okay. I don't know how much of that stuff took, nothing. You see.
Oh, wow.
Um, and when I asked him, and I guess I said, he guessed he taking the right amount and all this other. I'm like, what, man? And for me, I would think, like I said, you seen that somebody so strong, and my dad literally always had a book in his hand. Always studying on health. All day you might catch him at Walmart somewhere in the parking lot reading, before he pull off. I mean, he was that type of person. And I'm thinking he know the science. He know just as much as I do. Well, definitely more. He's been doing it
Mhm.
way longer than me, right? I grew up in it. I know other things that he may don't know as well, but I go deep into my studies as well as he did. But I just studied on other things. I dealt with more cultural stuff
Sure.
and learned the more deeper sciences of where things originated from. You see.
Mhm.
Um, but I thought he may knew, you know what I'm saying? But once like I said, had a chance to go into his house and see that, nah, he wasn't, nah. So I made him some apples, and the apples itself has a lot of nutrients in it,
Mhm.
and ginger. They'll also settle your stomach, open your blood vessels up. But he also had something going on with his leg, right? Some clogs. Um, to make a long story short, he said he want to go the next day. I said, man, you should go tonight. No, I'm gonna wait. He's talking about you gotta wash up and all that. I didn't like say to him, I wash you up and then like I normally would do, like I don't do my grandmothers and other people. like I said, my mind was in another state.
Sure.
I wasn't fully grounded. Um, I guess spiritually, been like I said in the city of sin. So I've been in the city of sin, family. So my mind wasn't fully together fully yet, right? So I leaves him. I said, "Well, call me, if you need me, stuff of that nature." Um, and he was scared about them giving him a shot or something like that. I try to let him understand that all he had to do was turn the power over to me once you get there. Once you get to the hospital, if you feel there's certain things that you cannot handle, then you can have your siblings, children and stuff, um, be the power attorney over
Yeah.
and be the decision makers and everything.
Hmm.
Um, but didn't take that option. So make a long story short, go home. I wake up the next morning, actually around 6. Thought about, well, fell back to sleep again. Then around 9, I called him. He didn't answer it. Instead of me leaving then, I went and researched, told me to research about the stuff he had. Now I'm ready to research when I should have been already researching, right? But now something in me told me to look. So while I was looking, his friend from upstairs called me and told me that he was uh, wasn't breathing. I'm like, what? So I drop everything, jump in my car, speeding over there as fast as I can go. And he had looked like he was on the toilet or whatever, and looked like he was ready to stand up or something, and he fell over in the bathtub. Hit his face, blood was everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm.
so his friend was on the phone, trying to call 911. I'm trying to pull him up. He's pretty heavy, he's 200 some pounds. I ain't no but about 100 something. I'm pulling him up, trying to get him up out of the tub. Trying to see if he can breathe or anything. But diagram was out. I don't know how long he had maybe been sitting like that.
Oh my.
So basically, I sat there and was holding him, for at least an hour, crying, snot flying on my nose. Because just me and him, you know what I mean?
Sure.
He was like my friend. He was the person that, I can pick up their phone and we talk about, different scientific stuff about the body, different things like that. So, and I was the person that he had. There's a lot of things that, he discovered or, was learning, he couldn't talk to everybody about. So we
Sure.
had to understand it, so forth. And so we had that type of connection. Definitely when it comes to communication, we go out to eat, stuff of that nature, like
Sure.
brothers too.
So let me understand what you're saying here. What you're saying to us is that from the time you were a little boy, you started experiencing trauma in your life. From being
To
out
some
there
degree.
picking
Mm.
cotton and picking tobacco or whatever, tobacco as a little boy at 4 years old out there in the 80-degree sun
Right.
to realizing that you are the last male heir or the last Copeland in your lineage, and to have a son that's not with you and he's not a Copeland at this time,
Right.
that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of trauma that you already saw long before you got sick yourself, long before the drugs and alcohol, long before you found your father. Oh my gosh, my heart is going out to you because I know that we all have trauma, but it sounds like you had a double dose of trauma in your life, but look at you, you have been able to withstand it. It has only obviously made you stronger. And so, when I heard you say that you had just got back from Las Vegas, the city of sin, as they call it, and maybe you weren't as focused as you hoped you would have been looking back at it, I could see how maybe you would feel a little guilt about not being able to be there like you wanted to be there in that time. But it looks to me like you have been able to make peace with all of that. And so thank you so much for bearing your heart to us, and go ahead and finish telling us what else
Yeah.
you have to
So,
say.
like I said, because of my experiences and understanding of life and been into metaphysics and different things for so long, I knew anything that happens to us a lot of times, it's a message. Um, and like you said, it's something to make us stronger, but what is it? So, what is this message that's happening right now? You know what I'm saying? I know I said when I turned 50 that I was gonna be a doctor, but do you have to kick me in my butt like this?
Yeah.
And about a week or so later, lady that I was engaged to, she ended up getting a job. And she said she wanted to have a certain particular wedding and she ready to have children and stuff like that.
So she got a job and she said she wanted to get married and have kids.
Right.
And then what happened? You said no?
Mhm. So, well, at that particular moment, I definitely wasn't ready to think about stuff like that. this
Sure,
is
absolutely.
this
Okay,
is like this is like a week after, like I said, these two other tragedy or three other tragedy events don't already happen.
sure.
Dad dying, my car getting totaled, my uncle dying. Now
Mm,
she telling me this, but at the end of the day, I really didn't have no one to discuss what I was feeling, what I was going through. You know what I mean?
yes.
Um, Somebody just to hug.
Wow, sounds like you felt really lonely, like you felt alone at that time.
Yeah, yeah, really alone, because like couldn't go to my other cousins and stuff. 'Cause a lot of them younger. I'm the oldest,
Sure.
um, and so for about I went back to school, and that's when I went for my energy medicine practitioner diploma. I already had
Okay.
the naturopathic consultant certification, and and I did like some ideology, some color therapy stuff, but
Okay.
I went for the diploma for the energy medicine. So
So
I
I have a
studied.
question for you. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So would you say that when you decided to go to school to be an energy practitioner, that
Mhm.
that changed your whole mindset about how you were dealing with things at that time? Do you believe that that helped heal who you were?
Well, yeah, the studying part. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been doing this stuff for years, dealing with music, dance, that rhythm. Um, so now I needed to know the more technical terms, what they call quantum physics. We originally called it Patah technology. You see what I'm saying? Because I already had been studying African and Amerindian, Ethiopian, traditions and culture. You see, and so I already understood certain sciences and things of that nature.
Hmm.
Okay, spirituality, we would say. um, so I've already been studying these things for years. So now to I guess to now, like I said, I had to take over my father's business full time. So now I got like extra expense. I didn't know how I was gonna pay for that. You know what I mean? But I just went with the flow. I just went with the energy. I always, understood that when certain things happen, you have to listen, you know. And so that's all I did. But I knew I couldn't have no extra energies. So that means, no women, no friends, you know what I mean? Just me in the bubble. I call
Sure.
it the electrical magnetic bubble, you know. And so I had my shield up and I just study and meditate, work, still, and get a few clients here and there to, everything happened right sometimes a week before the rent was due or my bills was due, you know what I'm saying? And these blessings are coming.
Yes. Hmm.
Um, it wasn't something I sit around and, oh God, what am I doing? I had days like that though. Don't get it twisted. But
Hmm.
to constantly do it every day, and you have people that just stuck and just, oh God, But like I said, because of certain things I was taught, certain things I've been through already, you know, to me, this was like I already seen three people die in front of me.
Right.
Something like that. Finding
Wow.
him. I seen people take their last breath.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? But my father was just like a whole different flip for me. It was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, it was just to me and him, let it lineage. I thought I seen my other uncles maybe going off right before me and my dad or my auntie that still left. I took care of. I seen them, but my dad, I didn't see that. You know what I'm saying? Because that was another thing I was going through too. I didn't mention was for 5 years from like 2016 or so. With my grandfather, right when I ended up getting my certification as a naturopathic consultant, he ended up getting sick. And me and my grandfather was tight too. He was like my father's father to me. But he, like I said, every summer, he taught me how to build stuff, you name it, work on
Sure.
cars. You know what I'm saying? They had a barber shop, they had a beauty shop, they had a store, a gas station. So you know, I learned a lot. So when he got older, he used to call me, at least 2 or 3 times a month I need my boy, you know what I'm saying? I help him, you know what I'm saying? Out of all the, I was one of grandchildren. I really his oldest grandchildren, uh, but not really because of his wife. His wife had already had a child when he was married.
Sure.
And so that was the oldest grandchildren. But for him, I would have been his oldest grandchild. So there's a lot of things that I was taught. Like I said, I mainly was raised, I didn't have the experience of most what you call children experience. I always had responsibilities, taking care of things, taking care of people. Like I said, been working, I had to buy my own clothes, you know what I'm saying, on school supplies, on food at one time from, from Lebanon on hotel. So I didn't look at life maybe like my average peers, you see. But like I said, when my dad died, then like I said, at that moment, my uncle died. Like I said, then my girl left there, you know what I'm saying? I really was loved and all this other stuff in my mind and heart, you see, was happening all at once. And then
Wow.
like I said, when I went into this bubble, um, I started to get more connected to my original. So this ain't my first time. Um, I feel at an even very high vibration at some years, like in my 30s or so. Like I said, I've been practicing and doing stuff of that nature since I was really strongly in my 20s, since I was 20.
Okay.
Um, but I've been doing it like you see the yoga and all that. That's part of breakdancing and stuff. So I've been doing that since I was 11. No, 9. First started breaking and popping and doing all that at 9. See, all that is actual spiritual stuff. It's ancient. If you understand our history, if you understand our culture, if you understand things was already written on walls. So I've been doing it for years, but then understood what I was doing until I got older and started studying, you see, and going to places and really learning and gathering that knowledge, which gave me the extra light when it came to this situation.
Oh, I see. So what you're saying is that you were already almost prepared to go through this before you actually went through it, in a way. And then when it came time to actually heal, you were able to reach back into some of those practices that you already had and bring them forward to use for your healing. Is that what I'm hearing?
Exactly. I knew actually
Okay.
5 years before it even happened that 2 of my family members was going to die because I'm a
Right.
visionary too. You see, I'm a shaman. I vibrate differently than most, right? So I already had the vision, but I was being stubborn or hard headed. I wanted to be in love. I wanted to lay back instead of doing the work that the ancestors that I was kept hearing in my head that I didn't move on. You see, and like I said, that was like a serious kick. Like I said a minute ago, it was like, hey, I know I said, it was like, you're going to have to
Exactly.
do it now.
Exactly. Everything was moved out of
Regardless.
your way. There were no distractions. All you could do now is move forward into your destiny.
That's it.
I understand. I know how the creator will remove things out of your life, remove the distractions so your full attention could be had. And so thank you so much for sharing all this, and so when you were able to move into the mindset, what was your mindset like? How were you able to develop a mindset that helped you heal through all of that? I mean, you lost your uncle, you lost your father, you lost the woman that you were actually engaged to, and you felt alone, you felt abandoned, you felt like you didn't have anybody to talk to, like you had lost your best friend. And so, how were you able to make it through all of that? I know you said you went into your electromagnetic bubble and protect yourself from all the other energies that could actually contaminate the situation.
Right.
And you were able to then go within and go to the ancestors to find your way. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Indeed, they said stay focused, stay on your path, and blessings will come.
Okay.
Okay. And if I set a goal, if I think, now I learned that's part of quantumness, focusing and bringing things to you. Uh, but yes, we just people got so many names for it nowadays, right?
Oh,
We
yeah.
focus in on anything that we want, and it could come to us. So let's say,
Yes.
for instance, I may say, "Hey, I need $1,000." I may can get it if it's for good intentions. See, sometimes we look for things for either greed, but you're not going to really get it for that. It had to be. I was taught to only ask for no more than what you need and utilize that. And if you get more, you're able to share it with others.
Mm-hmm.
And I always had that nature of sharing. If I have more, I will give it out. I'll find ways to distribute it amongst others. You
Sure.
see,
Hmm.
and I always been that way. Um, that's part of the ministries I had as well. But
Okay.
those are other stories. We were talking about my traumatic.
Actually, we're moving on to your mindset now. We're talking about
Right,
how you
right.
got through it now. We're done with all the trauma. Now we want to know how you got through all of that. How were you able to make your way through all of it is what we want to know.
Yeah, like I said, listening, a lot of meditation, sitting still, definitely no TVs, but some music, definitely music with the right frequencies of music, just not anything. Um, as less electronics as you can. Um, why I say these are things that can actually distract you from your true message that you may be guided to do or need to do or have to do. It's not just a female or a male that you may be with, or your homies or things of that nature. It could be just the environment itself. I had to change colors around me. I think I said I'm working on my home, got throwing away old stuff that may have been sitting around for 10, 15 years, 20 years. It got to go.
Yeah.
And so you have to cleanse when you're doing a cleansing. That's part of cleansing. I know my final cleansing. I'll have to, move from my environment because I've been here too long.
Sure.
So I had to, if I'm really wanting to develop to another level, I have to move away from that of which you, I say, the most content with, if that's the best way to put it. Um, but yes, that's something you got to change things around you. That's colors. Stop painting different colors. And we had talked about that briefly
Mhm.
about the colors that you're feeling at this moment. These vibrations. Because each color. You got color theory.
Yes.
Each color
Mhm.
has meaning. It has
Energy and vibration.
energy, vibration, right? To bring you up when you're feeling down. And so it's when we as far as it took me about a year or so to finally put my father's picture up. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um, had a big picture made. And I couldn't even look at it. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Mhm.
Tears get to find, break
Sure.
up. But strong enough, put his picture up. And so it's all about. I think, like I said, for me, it took lessons that I already understood and already kind of been through. I
Okay.
understand for me, it was my position and my position. I'm still, fit, going through the smoke a little bit, but it ain't as foggy and messing up my eyes to where I can't see, and
Oh
all
yeah.
blurry with tears, you know.
Hmm.
It ain't
Hmm.
so teary eye from the smoke, but it's clearing out real good. And I'm just now within this year starting to go back out, kind of trying to connect, network. I'm looking for like minds, people that
Wonderful. That's where we
yeah.
are next. We're talking about how you're able to achieve wonderful things since you've been able to heal, since you were able to do your color therapy, once you were able to bring back all the break dancing and all of the quiet time with the ancestors and going within inside that protective bubble, if you will. Once you were able to go through that process and heal from the inside out, then you were able to actually achieve some wonderful things. So let us know those wonderful things that you were able to achieve.
Well, like I said, I'm starting to network with more people. I'm starting to speak again, doing lectures. I haven't really spoken, did lectures since 2017.
Mhm.
I kind of stepped back from the scene for a minute. But now, at first I was talking about more culture, stuff like that. Like I was telling you earlier, I had some books out, more culture related.
Yes, you
Um,
wrote books. You're an author. Tell us about the books that you wrote.
let me see, hold on a second. I came out right quick. I came out um, when my son was about 10. I was like a Mr. Moms. So he mainly was with me, so to speak, until he was like 13. So I helped, raise him. So at the time, there was a lot of things that was labeling our children as gangs or gang members. And it was going around teaching these different paraphernalia, putting out in the communities, in schools. Um, we would say the departments. Okay. They was putting out paraphernalia, trying to teach parents about the way you see them wearing a certain hat, wearing certain clothes a certain way, all these other things, then they are gang members. And so I was noticing, like I said, my son had just turned 11, going to middle school. A lot of our children, if they are not, I understand what the first mental disease was. The first mental disease was called Nigger Tube. Y'all can look that up by Benjamin Rush. He's the founder of psychology. Okay, and the first mental disease was called Nigger Tube. Okay, and that dealt with pretty much if you didn't want to be Caucasian, then you must have been part crazy. I let y'all look it up, look the what's going on with that. So I noticed that when our children turn a certain age and if they didn't follow certain norms, then they was labeled. And this is about 15 years ago. They might be even worse, so I don't know what it is right now. Okay, so I got to make that clear because they constantly evolving in their tactics. Okay, so I came out with the first book because I was like, well, the way they dress is
What's the name of it? I can't see it. What's the name of it?
hip hop. The basic four elements of hip hop.
The basic
Um,
four elements of hip hop.
right, you know,
Okay. Okay.
and I deal from ancient to modern times. You know, the drums is considered the turntables. The MC is supposed to be the ancient forward. Then you got the break dancer that's dealing with movement or yoga, like I was telling you earlier. Then you got graffiti art, or we call aerosol art, which also we go back to ancient walls and stuff. We've been writing on walls, okay, giving what we call a piece. So I went around and I was teaching at centers and stuff. I had my ministries was called Cultural Awareness Ministries,
Oh,
and
okay.
then I then came out with that. Came out with the second book called From Kings to Gangsters.
From kings to gangsters.
Kings to Gangsters.
Okay.
So, like I said, one of the things that helped free me or help me make it through that period of my life of the post-traumatic slave syndrome that I was going through in my younger years, like I said, in the streets, stuff of that nature. Um, and when I came to Texas, I got with the Pan African bookstore, and I had what's called a Baba, who means teacher, um, who introduced, and another brother, T, who introduced me to Pan Africanism and different things about culture. And come to find out, we was once kings and we ruled things, and we had cities, and even here in America before they took that away. And so I wrote that book, and that
Okay.
is more historical. It's very got pictures and stuff, so it's for all ages.
Okay.
So then
Wow.
one of my last book I came out 2016. It's called Are We Still Slaves? The Black Awakening. We had a lot of people saying they're conscious, but for me, I feel we are in an awakening state. Um, we're going to different states of consciousness now.
Sure.
Um, there's some of us that's already, you know, like I said, born for this. There's some of us that's been chosen for this, and then there's some of us that's coming into this.
Hmm.
See, and so this is called the, you know, from past to present. You know, are we still slaves? And I
Okay.
came out with that book as well. So that comes with two DVDs of some lectures, and I went to the actual places where we actually maybe came in on slave ships, but we really was already here. Um, if you understand our history of what happened to the Aboriginals, I'm part of the Aboriginal tribes as well.
Okay. Wow, how exciting is that that you've been able to accomplish so much and to just be able to share your wisdom with your readers, and to be able to just educate people about things that they're not going to learn in school, to educate them about themselves in a way that maybe their parents didn't even know this information to educate them. So that is really wonderful how you were able to go through all the trauma, how you were able to heal yourself, and then turn all of that around to help heal other people. That is just so tremendous. And I know you do the biomechanical, is it the bioelectronic?
Bioenergetics.
Bioenergetics, that's what it is.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Tell us more about that because when isn't that what we did together on Saturday when I met you?
yes, yes.
Bioenergetics.
It's like going the human body feels. Um, yes, bioenergetics, bio dealing with life, um, dealing with electrical magnetic fields. Like I was saying earlier about a bubble, we all have what some people call it the aura. There's different names for it. You got your chakras, different things of that nature people speak of. All this is all dealing with the electromagnetism of the earth that vibrates at the shum frequencies at 7.83 hertz. Excuse me. When I try to explain hertz, anybody who been in music, definitely in the 80s or so when we had equalizers, um, they had different hertz on them. And if you move them, you might have for the highs, then go, Then you had your mids, then you had that, then you had your bass, boom, you know, and all that was different hertz. And it's
Oh,
the
okay.
same, right? So it's similar to the same thing in the work that I'm doing. Is just that they saying that okay, it was a guy named Tesla Tesla that came out in early late 1890s, early 1900s. They saying that he was one of the ones who came up with different frequencies and came up with the wireless phones or the wireless technologies. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that.
Tesla? Oh, yeah. Nikola
Right,
Tesla. We know about Nikola
right,
Tesla.
right. So and so they saying that these are the people who originated. But if we understand our history, like I was saying earlier, it's called Patah technology.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow, that's
Um,
so exciting.
yeah. So a lot of that came from they started remember learning about lights and all this after they invaded. I mean, call themselves discovering the pyramids. And within inside the pyramids, they found different things. We had been doing surgery before 5,000 years ago. Mathematics, they've got the word chemistry is coming from chemi, Chemii, which means black. So it was the study of the black, or what we call the black dot or the atom. I mean, so all this, the atomic fields, all this is still going into our ancient sciences that they're trying to figure out how in the world did they move these, 200-ton, bricks for 50 miles, 100 miles, 1,000 miles, stuff of this nature. And so it was aliens. That's what it was. But it was us, you know what I mean? And we understood the sciences that we have lost to you, not all of us, but they saying we're in the time of the Aquarius, and a lot of these things are getting ready to come back to us. The sign of the Aquarius is the same as the sign of Leo of 10,000 years ago. Earth has certain cycles, but I think it's was it 10, 50, 100-year cycles, I think 400-year cycles, 2,000-year cycles, and 10,000-year cycles, and 20-some thousand year cycles, 25,000-year cycles. Okay. We just went through. We do for one now. So the big one we come, like I said, if you go lift these things up, what I'm talking about, dealing with the cycles, and that's why some of us right now in we're going through certain tests. That's why we're going through so much. Either you're gonna break or you're gonna make
Yes,
it to the
that's
championship.
true with life. Life is definitely going to test you. Either you're going to come out stronger or only the strong will survive, right?
That's
Exactly.
it. The energy that's
Exactly.
hitting the earth. Yeah, the energy that's hitting the earth right now is more than this what you're seeing on the news. You
Yes, of
see,
course.
and that's part of what of my work that I do is dealing with bioenergetics. Right now, that's like the future medicines. A lot of it is called nanotechnology as well.
Yes.
Everybody know about getting injected with these nanobots and different things of that nature. This science has been around since 2007. It's called SPOIN, SPOIN, SPOIN. That's the acronym of it, and y'all can look that up if you're not familiar.
Wow.
So these are the things that in our community, and we got to understand what is going on. And of us who do understand, we have a obligation to make sure we serve our community for those who wants to be served. Because not everybody's going to listen. Not everybody is going to absorb the information because it's nutrients. And sometimes we could be so toxic to where our body won't even accept nutrients. You see.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. You know what? I am so glad that you are here to explain this all to us because if you weren't, most of us would be really confused about what's really going in the electromagnetic world around us. That is just so fascinating. And so, what I really want you to do now is tell us how you're able to sustain all this great energy and how you're able to sustain all of this wonderful work that you're doing. How do you stay so positive and keep yourself on track?
Well, like I said, it's like you have to be you. That's number one. Um, don't let people or things come into your life. First, you gotta know who you is. You see, and really know your paths or what is your true path. You know, um, family is important. If you're the older, like I said, the oldest, middle, or the youngest, whatever case it may be, people have this situation going on. And I know for me, I'm starting to learn this first set of Copelands. Um, and I got to start connecting more with my family that outside of what I grew up with.
Okay.
Um, that's for me as far as a healing path. Because like I said, I'm what they call a griot. Griot is a storyteller. that's one of the things we do. We pass on our lineage. We pass on the story to our next generation of who we are and what we did and how we did it. You
Yes.
see, those type of things have been lost in this day's society through technology, through TVs, through all these different things that they have gained names for. You see, so for me, I just stay focused. Like I said, I don't watch. I don't even have a TV in my home. I stay away as much frequent. You know, I may do a little YouTube here and there, something catching my eye, see what's mainly just look at the weather. That's part of it's called the Mandor minimum. Y'all can look that up. It's part of the cycles. It's something that it could happen any second right now. That's part of what's called coming of the sun and all these other things. You know, that's another story for another day. um, but you know, you can join me on my YouTubes and different things like that to catch up
Yes.
on that
Yes.
information.
Can you please tell us how we can reach you, Dr. Copeland?
Well, there you go. Doctahcopland. That's Doctahcopland. You can just Google that pretty much, and hopefully, my IG should pop up. My YouTube should pop up as well. Just follow me, and also take and subscribe, and you see some information that you like it, and give comments. So I get into the algorithms so people can see what we do and the information that I have to share.
Oh
Um,
my gosh, that is just so exciting. You guys, I am so excited about bringing Dr. Copeland to us today. I met Dr. Copeland last week at the Holisticon, which was here in Roanoke, Virginia. And I spoke into, what's it called? The Force Source?
the voice scan.
The
Yeah,
voice scan. I did the
going
voice
through
scan.
emotions. Mhm.
Yes. And so the voice scan, tell us about the voice scan. Tell them what I did at the Holisticon with the voice scan.
Yeah, the voice scan. Well, part of the technologies that they have out here, we call it bio resonance. I think it was pronouncing it correct. um, but your voice carries certain energy, certain frequencies, and so what this does is pick up your voice and find what frequencies may be out of balance. Um, to deal with our emotions. We have subconscious emotions, and then the actual things that we know that's in front of us, like say, like a bill or something that got you all out of whack, or emotional love. These different emotions. But sometimes we can have a too much of emotion or too little of emotion. So it's about having balance of all emotions. And so
Yes.
what this does is find the one that's the highest emotion versus the one that's the most subconscious one. And what it does is also send you music frequencies for what's going on with your emotional state at this point. Because we can, of course, we are energy beings. Our energy can change within a few days, or within a week or two, or within a day. Right now, while we're talking,
Yes,
we
absolutely. Yes.
have a certain change of energy.
Yes.
So that's what this does. Pick it up, and like I say, gives you a basic educational report of some possible imbalances that could be going on in your body, and it sends you, like I said, frequencies um, or music as well to listen to. I tell people at least 12 to 7 days, and to help kind of balance you out in certain areas.
Oh my God, how amazing is that, guys? How amazing. If you call Dr. Copeland, if you get a hold of him, you're going to be able to do a voice scan. And this voice scan, I'm telling you what, it was so remarkable when I saw my report. I had made a soup and it had corn in it. And right down in this report, it was telling me that I had a corn sensitivity. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my goodness. And of course, I already believe in frequencies and the energy healing frequencies because I use them at night when I go to bed so that I can reprogram my subconscious mind so that I can balance out my own energy. I do this at night while I'm going to bed so that my conscious mind won't rebel and not allow it to come through the defense mechanism. I'm able to, at night when I go to sleep, play the right frequencies to my subconscious mind that just really soaks it up. And I can always tell the difference when I wake up in the morning that I got what I needed overnight. And it's just really something remarkable. And so if you've never had your energy checked, please check out Dr. Copeland so that you can have that done. You will be totally amazed at the report that you will get and how detailed it actually is. But then again, I want to say thank you so much, Dr. Copeland, for riding on the healing train with us today. Thank you for that wonderful history lesson that you gave us. You gave us a whole lecture here today.
Speaking of, I'll be in Roanoke November 13th doing a lecture on it.
You're going to be in Roanoke on November 13th.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So
Tell us where you're going to be on November 13th so we can
I'll
come out and
be
check it out.
one community now. Yeah, I haven't. I guess you can go to their website and see their calendar. But I would be there. I think I can't remember which street is on right now. Off the top
On
of my head,
Franklin
I can
Road.
see. Huh?
I think it's
Where,
on Franklin Road. I forgot the actual address, but it's one community now. You can find that on Facebook. They do have a group on Facebook, and they have a calendar. And so you're going to be there on November 13th. You guys, if you are local to the Roanoke area, you definitely want to check this out. And if not, go ahead to his YouTube channel so you can watch his videos on yoga and meditation. And he also has a channel on IG that you can go and see him there. And you know what? It has been a joy. And thank you guys so much for meeting us here. I'm always going to bring you wonderful stories of trauma to triumph. I'm always going to bring you extraordinary stories of struggle to success. And so thank you so much for always coming back here every Sunday to see what we have going on the healing train. And Dr. Copeland, is there any last words you want to say to the community before we move on and close for this evening?
Indeed, I'd like to thank you so much for having me on here. I enjoyed this conversation. I guess I finally had someone to talk to about my trauma situation. Got
Of
to talk
course.
publicly, I guess, right? I do want to say one thing I did leave out. One of the ways of healing is be creative. Find things to do. Find things that's creative and positive to do as much as you can. Whether it be reading, walking, getting. You definitely have to get out the house. Um, you know, definitely don't have to be around people, but you just got to get out the house.
There you
Sit
go,
in the
guys.
house.
There
Yeah,
you
sit in the
guys.
house.
There you go. Being creative, getting out of the house and getting some fresh air. Definitely getting yourself out of the house, and so that your energy can engage with nature and engage with the energy that's going on around us, the pulsation of the earth itself. So definitely. Want to make sure you're taking care of yourself. And thank you for those final words, Dr. Copeland. And with no further ado, we'll say thank you so much for meeting us here on the Healing Train. And if you are manifesting for something, I want you to continue to move forward. Keep the faith. And if you get discouraged, that's okay. Just don't stop, because that thing that you are manifesting for is right around the corner on its way to you. And in the meantime, I'm going to ask God to bless you real good until we can see you again. And so thank you so much. I love you. And we'll talk to you next Sunday right here on the Healing Train. Bye bye.
Bye.